you have found yourself wanting to have a little bit of a life reset. And I am here to tell you that there is no better time than now. Today, we are going to be diving in to how you can change and reset your life today. It doesn't have to start at the beginning of the year with New Year's resolutions. You can start at any point in the year, any day of your life, any moment. And now is the chance for you to reset, recharge, and revolutionize who you are and what you want out of life. Take time and be very intentional with this, because the more you dedicate yourself to trying to reset your life and taking these things that I'm saying seriously, the more likely this is actually going to end up working for you. So take time, take pauses when you need. I will be telling you when you should be writing these things down. I'm also going to call it a life audit, because we are going to be taking away, auditing out some of the stuff that just doesn't serve us today. So get ready for a deep dive into your mind, into your life. Just get excited, because your life can start today. Some of the best times for you to prioritize setting a life reset are when times are busy or overwhelming, or when you're just feeling disconnected from yourself or other people in your life. Because when we focus on resetting our life, our mindset, our way of being, it allows us to have a lot of clarity on who we are and where we want to be. We are assessing our current life, our current habits, our current mindsets, our current emotions, and the things that we're doing in a day-to-day, and picking and choosing what is good for us and what is not good for us any longer. When we are resetting our life, it's all about implementing small, minuscule changes that can lead to bigger and bigger changes. I feel as though there's a common misconception that when there is a life reset or a new year coming up, that you have to change every single aspect of your life. That is not possible. That is not going to be serving you over longevity of time, because you aren't going to feel connected to this new life that you're trying to live. It's all about focusing on what is serving you and just weeding out what isn't. This episode is all about making room for what truly matters to you. It is a reset, a refocus, a realignment within yourself, your life, your actions, your dreams, your hopes, all of this stuff. This has been a consistent theme on the podcast as of lately. Today, we are going to be identifying what your core values are in your life right now at the current moment. And then from there, we're going to be assessing your current habits or activities that you're doing on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly basis. Some of these things might be serving you, others probably not. I know that I have my share of bad habits, but I also have good habits as well. And most likely that is how every other human is on the face of the planet, because we're all human. We're obviously all going to have good habits and bad habits. As I said earlier, let's get into what we are going to audit out of our lives, what we're going to cut off. These bad habits, these bad mindsets, these bad beliefs. And I don't like using the word bad, but in this case, I'm going to, because there are things point blank that just don't serve us, that waste our energy, that suck out our happiness. We don't need them in our lives. They're bad. Let's label them as bad and try to boot them out. It is essential for you to look at every aspect of your life when it comes to resetting. You need to reset every aspect of your life in order for it to work. So, what do I mean by these different aspects of life? I'm talking about work, your relationships, your personal growth, your mental health, your physical health, your emotional well-being, and your environment. Making sure that each of these areas are aligning with your values and your goals, and that you're not leaving any room for error in any of these aspects of your life, are going to ensure that you are going to move forward with this life reset. Because if you don't think about these things, if you don't think about every single aspect of your life, and you're very intentional with what it is you are trying to change when it comes to all of these things, if you leave out something, that might bleed into the other aspects of your life, because everything in life is interconnected. So when we are talking about this life reset or audit, we are really talking about being intentional here. And intention is something that I love to talk about on the podcast. In order for you to have a life where you feel aligned and healthy in everything that you do, that means that you are making intentional choices to be that way. So you have to make intentional choices to change your life, to reset your life, and examine how you are feeling about all of these different aspects of your life. So now that I've gotten over that, let's get into the good stuff and talk about core values. Your values act as a compass in your life, guiding you in whatever decision or action that you make. So making sure that you know what your values are and that you are aligning your actions and decisions with your values is only going to help you when you are trying to think of what it is that you want out of life. Because once you can identify your values and see how they align with your life, or see if they don't even align with your life, you are then able to see what is good for you and see what is not serving you in your life right now. So you might be wondering, how do I even know what my values are? And I invite you to write them down. Think of the things that bring you joy. Think of the moments that make you feel a sense of pride or purpose in your life. These moments or things can really help you sort of narrow down exactly what your values actually are. Recalling moments that make you feel alive and purposeful are really good indicators of what your values are. So for me, some moments that have made me feel alive and purposeful is when I'm out in nature. I feel extremely alive. And for me, that is a value that I have, to connect with the world and connect with nature. So I make sure I prioritize that in my life. Or a moment where I felt purposeful is when I am in service helping others. So this can be when I worked with kids. I found a lot of purpose in doing that. And I realized that I didn't want to work with kids long time, but I knew I wanted to help people. So I decided to switch my career and try doing a podcast instead. And I found a lot of purpose in that. When you see what your values are through those moments, you're able to see how they could sort of shift and change if the same value is at the core in what you are actually doing. So now that you have all of these values written down, I want you to now write down work, relationships, mental health, physical health, emotional well-being, environment. I want you to write down all of those categories, and you are going to think about your life and place those values that you have in each of those categories of your life. Some categories might be more fulfilling than others. Maybe some aspects of your life don't even carry over any of your values or don't have any of your values included in it. That's a little sad. But that's why we're doing this, is because we're trying to understand, okay, where are we lacking right now? Where can we reset? Where can we repurpose? Where can we reroute what we're going to be doing in our future in order to help us feel more fulfilled? So please write down those categories and add in those different values that you have in your life to each of those aspects. I really want you to examine the different areas of your life and see what is more fulfilling and what is less fulfilling. Because when there is a lack of something, that just means that we need to be a little bit more intentional and put more time and energy trying to get that area to become more positive in our lives so we could become more fulfilled overall. This could give you a clear understanding of how your values are being represented in your life, or if they're even coming up at all. Maybe you're living a life where some values that you have aren't even being expressed because there's no room for them right now. This is when we need to start considering how we are going to declutter our lives. But first, I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions in each aspect of your life. As you are looking through each of these categories, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Is this area bringing me joy? Do I feel fulfilled in this aspect of my life? Does this career, environment, or relationship align with my values? Those are more specific category ones. But ask yourself questions. And if you could come up with your own questions for yourself, by all means, ask yourself those questions. Go online, ask yourself more questions. Really look at and dive in and try to understand where you are lacking and where you are feeling fulfilled in your life. When you are trying to reset your life, there is a handful of things you can do to help you declutter and reprioritize what it is that you want. So, I just led you through an exercise that kind of looks like self-reflection. And self-reflection here is one of the best things that you could do, because the more you understand what it is that you have experienced and how it has affected you and where you are at right now, by doing that exercise that I mentioned earlier, you are able to understand where you're coming from right now, where you are at, and then figure out where you want to go. On the track of trying to figure out where you want to go, I invite you to think of new goals or intentions that you want to focus on moving forward. Write down 3 to 5 goals and 3 to 5 intentions on what you want out of life and who you want to be right now. Rather than just big long-term goals, a life reset really focuses on small, manageable goals that you can achieve over a short period of time. So think about, what are a couple of things that you want to do in the next month or 2 or 3? Make small, achievable goals for each month that you feel as though you can accomplish on your path of trying to reset your life. And make sure that you are setting intentions on who you want to be. Some of my favorite intentions of life that really ground me and make sure that I am staying on the path of where I want to go is reminding myself, I am powerful. I am able to do anything I put my mind to. I am able to lean on others for support when I need it. Those are some intentions that personally help guide me in my life, but those are those I am statements. Create a couple of I am statements that you want to prioritize in your life today and forever. You know what I mean? So I love intentions. They're like my favorite. I'm doing a lot of intentions and like self-reflection, grounding stuff right now because it's the end of the year. So doing all of this stuff to change because the energy is so high at the end of the year to make sure you got all of your resolutions and your goals done, but it's just so overwhelming. I don't know. It's the perfect time for a reset. Maybe when it comes to resetting your life, you genuinely just need to declutter. You just need to get rid of stuff in your actual environment that is bringing you down. If you need to physically go through your environment, your house, your apartment, your room, whatever it is, go through your stuff and get rid of the things that are just there. The things that you haven't touched in over 3 months, get rid of them. You're probably never going to touch them again. And when you are going through your apartment and you're getting rid of stuff, it brings such a different energy. That's what I'm doing currently right now. I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff in my apartment because I need to make room. But I'm intentionally getting rid of stuff to make room for new things to come in. And that is why I'm making this podcast episode today, is because I've realized that as I'm getting rid of things in my apartment, it's making me think of all of these other things that I want to do. It's very meditational when you go through your stuff and you figure out what you're going to get rid of and what you're going to keep, because it just ties into this theme of trying to figure out what your priorities are, what your values are, and how you want to move forward and get rid of all of this stuff that doesn't matter. Everything is connected here. Like, if you haven't noticed, as a human, everything is connected. You could always start this process by physically decluttering your space, because what your environment looks like is a reflection of your mind. So at least that's what I believe. If your apartment, house, whatever is messy, your mind is probably also a little messy, maybe overwhelmed or just stressed out, and you aren't able to have time to clean. But if you dedicate yourself to trying to tidy things up and declutter your space, it will only help you feel so much better about yourself and your mind, because it helps. I don't know what it is. Also, redecorating your environment can be something that helps you reset, because it is like a fresh start. When you get rid of a bunch of stuff, you put new stuff up on the walls, you throw a little layer of paint on everything. I'm looking around my apartment right now. But when you are changing things that are in your environment, it helps you also feel as though there is a shift and there is a change going on in your life. On the topic of letting things go, we are also going to be letting go of our limiting beliefs while we are doing this life reset, because limiting beliefs are the things that are beneath the surface. They are the icky thoughts and beliefs that we have about ourselves in life that really hold us down. They are the quicksand of our minds that just suck the energy out of us. And so, trying to understand what your limiting beliefs are when it comes to yourself and life is something that you really need to hone in and understand about yourself. And this is something you can do in self-reflection. But if there are certain truths that you know about, that you believe about yourself to be true, not know, believe about yourself to be true, these things are a little bit harder to think of on the surface. When you are looking at your thought patterns, this is something that can really tell you what your limiting beliefs might be about yourself. And these are the things that you need to get rid of, because they do not serve you and you need to cut them out of your life. This could be negative self-talk about your appearance or your work or your creativity or just who you are as a person. Any negative self-talk needs to be evaluated and let go, because you will not be able to truly reset your life if you are still holding on tightly to these limiting beliefs about yourself. You might know what they are at the top of your head, but this is something that takes a lot more self-reflection and maybe even working with a therapist to really understand what your limiting beliefs are. Just putting that in your mind, letting go of limiting beliefs, is also extremely essential to resetting your life. Prioritizing your wellness in all aspects of life, emotional, relational, physical, mental, spiritual, every aspect of your life needs to be in harmony, and they need to be on a more positive wavelength than what those limiting beliefs might be, because we're prioritizing wellness here. When we are talking about these different aspects of life, the most critical aspects of your life that you need to have a sense of wellness in are your physical and your mental. You need to prioritize taking care of yourself in these different ways. So this means moving your body in a loving way, listening to your hunger cues. Maybe you dance in your room for a little bit, or you treat yourself to a sweet treat every once in a while. I don't know, but take care of yourself in these different aspects of your life. Practicing mindfulness is huge when it comes to a life reset, because this is when you are in alignment with your mind and your body, truly being present in the moment with what you are needing, what you are wanting, and where you are at that present moment. So, making sure that you give yourself some time for mindfulness in every single day is something that will radically change your life, even if it's just for 5 minutes. I can't talk about a life reset if you also aren't addressing any areas of concern in your life. If there are things that you have put on the back burner that you are letting yourself ignore, those things are festering up inside. And these might be scary things for you to face. I mean, any medical concerns that you might have, health concerns that you might have, familial concerns, self concerns, past concerns, future concerns, any of those things, all of these things really need to be brought up to light and truly understood in order for you to have a true life reset. We have to think about everything here. Nothing can be left in the shadows. And that stuff could be a lot easier said than done. I'm making it sound like it is easy. I know it's not. When you allow yourself to bring up these aspects that are holding you down because there's a reason why you haven't been facing them, this will only allow you to feel lighter and brighter over time, because the more attention and time that you put onto trying to understand something or trying to fix something, the faster it will actually be understood and fixed rather than ignored. Because when we ignore something, it can really fester inside and make us feel like there's a black hole within us. So that is just something food for thought. And I'm going to move on to something else that is a little bit more positive about this life reset that I think would really benefit you. A reset is just as much about planning as it is about evaluating and taking action. So when you are evaluating your life and trying to reset, it is extremely important that you are staying future focused as well. Because remember, this is a reset. This is something that is going to launch you to the next place that you deserve to be at in life. You deserve to level up and reset. So think about the person that you want to be after this reset is over. Who do you want to be? What values do you want to have more of in your life? Maybe even there's new values that you want to have in your life. What is serving you in your life that you want to keep continuing on? What are new things that you want to try in your life? Make plans for the future. Have things to look forward to. It's very, very important, especially when you might be evaluating a bunch of things going on in your life. Visualization is a really, really, really powerful tool that will only help you more than hurt you. If you sit with yourself and you visualize and really think about where you want to be in a month from now, in 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, allow yourself to think about those things and visualize where you are, what you are doing, and most importantly, how you are feeling. When you practice visualization, you see what you want for yourself, and then you start believing that you can have that in your life. That is going to get you closer and closer and closer to the life that you wish to live, because you can live that life. I promise you. You just have to press reset and level up and keep going and going and going every single day. A life reset requires you to reevaluate the relationships in your life. This means that you might have to set more boundaries with the people who might be sucking the energy out of you, because this is something that can affect us in our lives, are our relationships. So making sure that you are prioritizing setting boundaries with people and making sure that you are spending more time with people who uplift and support you is really key when trying to press reset on your life. In this life reset, you also need to build new habits, whether it's a morning routine, a night routine, something that you do that's new once a day. I don't care, but building new habits that can get you closer to where you want to be is key. Maybe you focus on improving your sleep or developing a journal routine. I don't know, but if there is something that is lacking in your life that you are wanting to spend more time on, make it a habit. Make sure that you're evaluating the habits that you do have in your life. See what it is that you are doing on a day-to-day and really think about it. I mean, maybe you even do a time log of what a normal day looks like. How much time are you spending on your phone? Are you connecting with your loved ones? Are you connecting with yourself? Are you spending time in nature? Do you have a morning routine? Do you have a night routine? How's your sleep? Really think about all of these things and think about where you are spending your time. You know, you look at the things and evaluate. Am I spending my time in a way that's serving me? Or am I spending my time in a way that's actually hurting me more than it is helping me? Your habits are the things that you do on a day-to-day that help you get closer to your larger goals in life. So making sure that you are prioritizing your time to live a healthier life, to be better to yourself, to have more wellness and happiness and achieve all your goals and all the things that you want out of life, make sure that every moment you spend prioritizes that. But also allow yourself to have time to relax. A life reset is all about looking at the different aspects of your life and seeing how they align with your values. It's about seeing what serves you and what doesn't serve you, either it being, how you spend your time or your limiting beliefs or your relationships. Maybe you need to do a reset on your physical health or your mental health. Whatever it is that is holding you down, evaluate and try to reset and think about what it is that you want more of for yourself in your life. Think about your future, look forward, make goals, think of new habits, think of all of the things that you wish to have in life. I encourage you to try and understand what brings you fulfillment and let go of the things that do not give you that feeling. Everything in your life should make you feel more energized rather than suck that energy out of you. That's what this life reset is trying to do for you. Try to see where your mind might be cluttered. Try to see where your life might be cluttered. Try to see where your actual physical environment might be cluttered and make space for better things to come in. I hope that I inspired you to reset your life because you can change starting today. Life can be just as happy and fulfilling as you desire it to be. It all starts with you. And now it is time for our question of the week. What is one thing that you can let go of to make space for what really matters? Thank you for watching this video. As the year is coming to a close, I am just really inspired to make a lot of change in my own life. And things are changing at the beginning of next year for me as well in very exciting ways. And it's just an exciting time. And I'm really leaning into the change, and I want you to lean into change as well because it is a beautiful thing. Life is just amazing in the way that it evolves, and I want you to evolve and become the best version of yourself for yourself. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, also click the subscribe button. If you're watching on Spotify, give me a 5-star review. It helps more than you know. You could also follow me on there as well. You could follow me on Instagram at @ToBeKnownPod or TikTok at @ToBeKnownPod. Thank you for watching. Once again, thank you for giving yourself the time and space to show up and allow yourself to start the process of resetting your life. Stay true to you. Bye!